recipient of the 2014 Tom Hunstad Award, the 2015 Tom Hunstad Award.
The recipient for the 2016 Tom Hunstad Award.
Tom Hunstad was an amazing pastor and youth minister serving at churches in Wisconsin and in Minnesota. And when this thing called a network first started to come together, there were a lot of people involved, but it was really Tom's leadership. He cast the vision and did a lot of the work, and really at some points in time even kind of carried the whole thing on his shoulders so that it became a reality. After Tom died of cancer, the network's board created the Tom Hunstad Award for Excellence in Children, Youth, and Family Ministry as a way of honoring someone for the ministry that they do and the way they contribute to the greater church.
Thank you so much for this. This is grace, undeserved.
We want to encourage you to be the people that you are. Be the people that God has called you to be.
It's not a contest, there aren't nominations, but rather it's an honor that the board bestows to someone to give thanks for excellence in ministry that touches and affects the lives of people in congregations and really on a broader scale through the whole network and the whole of the church.
To assist in presenting the Tom Hunstad Award tonight, I want to call on Tom Schwollert, who is the chair of the network's board of directors, along with Rachel, Tom's daughter, and David and Mary, Tom's brother and sister.
And Rachel's little baby, too. Awesome. This year's Tom Hunstad Award winner was born and raised in North Dakota and had no desire to become a pastor. But he soon found out that God had other plans. One day, his pastor asked him if he had ever considered ministry, and he laughed in his face. When God tapped him on the shoulder to become a pastor, he thought God must be distracted. In spite of his resistance, he heeded the call and went to Luther Seminary. He did his internship at Faith Lutheran Church in Yucaipa, California. They loved him so much that they called him to be their pastor. This began his 40 years of being a pastor accompanying youth in Southern California. He discovered his love for working with young people, and that love still remains today. He says, "I love it. Youth ask the best faith questions." It was there that his influence on young people went beyond his own church to reaching thousands with the gospel. He chaired the South Pacific Youth Committee for several years and started Youth Ministry Associates, an organization to provide training for youth ministers. He's organized over 20 middle school youth gatherings and numerous high school gatherings. This experience led him to starting the first ever Western States Youth Gathering, where over 3,000 youth would attend each year. He has spoken at numerous youth gatherings and retreats, too many to count. He loved the adventure of loading up the bus with youth and traveling across the country for youth gatherings and mission trips, and he could probably win an award for most years and miles being the bus driver. He later became an associate pastor at Ascension Lutheran in Thousand Oaks, California, and in 2011 was asked to become their senior pastor. But he said, "I'll only do it if I can keep youth ministry as part of my call." They thought I was crazy, he said. I probably was. He's been featured in the Lutheran Magazine for his commitment and innovations in youth ministry. He was on the network board for 6 years, 4 of those as the chairman. He was known for working across denominational lines by leading his local ministerium and is one of the few that was involved in conversations with the LCA, the ALC, and the LCMS Lutheran denominations in the 80s about how to resource and equip the future of youth ministry. He was so passionate about making things affordable for youth that he was in charge of the cleanup crew for the Conejo Valley Days in Conejo County and would raise about $7,000 a year to help with the youth ministry. They affectionately called him Pastor Trash. He led numerous Lutheran Crescio and Via de Cristo retreats and organized leadership conferences with Vibrant Faith. Even now in retirement, he got a call to speak at a youth gathering this weekend, but he had to decline to come here. His ministry resume is obviously long and distinguished. He's seen it all and done it all. But the remarkable thing about this year's recipient of the Tom Hunstad Award isn't a list. It's his heart. This man is kind. He is gentle. He is a natural listener, and he cares about everyone he encounters. As a matter of fact, when I was talking to him yesterday to put this bio together, I had a hard time getting him to talk about himself. He kept asking me about what I was doing and how I was doing. After experiencing a divorce, he later married Chris, the love of his life. They combined her 5 kids and his 3 daughters to form their own version of 8 is Enough. That's an old TV show for some of you young people. And he's especially proud of his 3 amazing young daughters and his 8 grandchildren with a 9th on the way. This man has been pastor to many of us here in this room, helping us through difficult times and celebrating our great moments. His humble presence has ministered to thousands. Please help me welcome the 2019 Tom Hunstad Award winner, the Reverend Larry Wagner.
To say that I'm honored to receive this award doesn't do justice to how much this means. I had the privilege of knowing Tom Hunstad. I was in some of those early meetings in Minneapolis, and I remember when Tom walked into a room, he came in with such passion and such fire, and so committed to helping the larger church understand that children and youth were not the church of the future, but were the church of today. He brought such passion, he communicated it, he inspired it in others. And I pray that in that spirit that we gathered in this room, who have the privilege of ministering to those same children and those youth, that we bring that same passion and help them to know the love of Jesus Christ and to know that they are valued as partners in ministry today. God bless each of you. Thank you again for this amazing award.